So I want people to know that, well, I want them to know the beauty that I saw in this world. I want them to know that the adventure that I had, because whether you have a disability or not, a lot of us are driven by, we want to have an adventure in life. Ken was, I wish I had a movie camera to capture it, but he was pulling himself over the rocks on the beach, and he had tears coming down his eyes. And my first was I was concerned to make sure he was okay. But he said, he goes, "I'm fine." He just said, "I just never thought I would be able in a place like this, and that I can do any of these things," and that's always stuck with me.
We hired helicopters and brought 20 youth into a 3-day camp. Ken Tatafu and his mom Lila saying good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
This was our first day. We brought in 4 inflatable boats. Dr. Radke was the leader, and the kids followed suit, or tried.
Oh, okay. Right, you're just going in circles.
Waimanu Valley is absolutely remote and sacred.
He's a great role model. He's paralyzed from the neck down, and he can do everything. Like I met him at a workshop. No, I think workshop, and he was showing us this slide of him, and he was scuba diving in his wheelchair, and just to see that is really inspiring. And after getting to know him, he's a real positive person. He doesn't let his handicap stop him. He can type on the computer. He can do almost anything that anyone else can do, and that's what I wanted. That's what I hope I can be.
Ken, when we went to Waimanu on the Big Island and flew in on the helicopters, I was told that when you got out of the helicopter, you kind of pulled your way across the rocks on the beach, and Dr. Radke was very impressed by that, and he just thought, man, this is a kid who really wants to make this thing happen. Why, did it surprise you that you had all that determination, or is that just the way it goes?
Well, I think that's just the way it goes, because you can either walk there, or you can wheel your wheelchair there, or you can crawl there, it doesn't matter. As long as you get the same place as any other person, then I think it's all the same.
And how was it sleeping in tents?
Oh, it was kind of fun. A new experience.
I remember the morning I walked by your tent and you and your mom were in there, and you poked your head out and said good morning to me, and you were smiling, and I thought, oh man, what a night I've had. You look way better than I did.
This Ken Tatafu ready to take off.
Well, first off, I'm flattered. Secondly, probably because I don't really have huge limits put on my life, meaning that I work at making things happen that I really want to do. One of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to take people with disabilities and I wanted to show them a part of Hawaii that is extremely beautiful, extremely isolated, and that they could do it. And it's not that difficult. I mean, it's not to say that there aren't some times when things become very much just a plain pain, but that there's a lot of things that get past that. I have part of my adventuresome spirit is to find out new things. I guess I'm driven by just wanting to find what new knowledge is out there, and I want other people to share that lust, so you speak, for knowledge. I want people to realize it's all over the place, and that you can have a great time while you're doing that. I mean, we caught fish, we measure fish, we do all our identifications. We can provide something that is valuable to everyone. At the same time, we can have a good time at that. And I think all good scientists do that. Yeah, I want people to know that, well, I want them to know the beauty that I saw in this world. I wanted them to know that the adventure that I had, because whether you have a disability or not, a lot of us are driven by, we want to have an adventure in life.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all want to, I think underneath all of us, we all want to help. Okay, and people many times don't know how to help someone in a wheelchair because they feel uncomfortable or something. So when we work with different students and different people, I want to give them the opportunity because I've been in this wheelchair now for almost 17 years. I'm not saying I'm 100% comfortable with it, but I need somebody to feed me, and whether you hit the spot all the time or not, I'm not the messy feeder, you are.
Perhaps to come back another time and take a measure a year or two later. This is Dr. Radke's service dog, Lael, always watching. Dr. Radke brought one of the most awesome off-the-road wheelchairs we've ever seen. A friend of his developed it in Alaska. It'll go most anywhere if you get enough youth to pull it and push it, sort of like a rickshaw. It's always fun to torture other human beings, by the way. That's one of these space foils that can be used to warm someone up if they are chilled. Sean from the Big Island watches on, and the sun comes out. We were so lucky that weekend, weather-wise.
Well, the expectations many times with people with disabilities is that, there's only a certain amount of achievement that they can do. And that's not the case. And part of that drives me, I think every person has the right to fail. And people say, well, why do you say that? I said, because when you go to college, regular college have the right to fail. And so should people with disabilities.
Back to the viewfinder from Makuasai Pahu. I'm Leah Burgess, and here today we have Dr. Radke and Tim Martinez. What is your profession?
I'm a fisheries oceanographer at the University of Hawaii.
Was this your goal throughout your life?
Well, I grew up on a small farm in Indiana, and when I was first growing up, I actually wasn't quite sure. And I'd gone fishing one day, caught a fat catfish, and it always intrigued me how a fish could live in the water while we're up in the air. And I guess since then I became interested in it, and I followed it through going to college or graduate school. And I'm fortunate that I was able to realize my dream.
What would you like to see be accomplished by the new millennium?
Well, the new millennium is quickly approaching us. One of the things, I guess, that I would like to see accomplished is that persons with disabilities worldwide would have the ability to be treated as equals. Right now, we're sort of trying to catch up, and I think technology can do that. In 2 years, it's possible.
You brought your dog with you, and how is he helpful to you? What is his name or her name?
Okay. Well, I won't tell you her name, and the reason I do that is because she's a specially trained service dog, and I want her to listen to my commands. Since I can't pull on her too much, one second, Lael. Okay, if I have everyone else, and I've just said her name over the thing, so we're okay. But I ask you not to call her name because then she'll listen to you and not me. She's a service dog. She's 3.5 years old. Her specialty is actually buttons and switches. She turns lights off and on. She can hit the elevator buttons. She can reset my computer. She does all the other things that dogs do, such as sit and lie down, everything else, but she also can retrieve items and put them on my lap. And she stays with me 24 hours a day. She sleeps in her bedroom. She sleeps on the floor. My wife won't let her sleep in the bed with us. But, and I know that they had a barking sound. Well, when you train service dogs, she's trained not to bark. So the chances of hearing her bark are very slim. And she'll only bark if I give her the command. And so people around me know that if they ever hear the dog barking, something's wrong, better come check me out. But she does a lot of things that way, and she's a great companion. Thanks.
And that's all the questions we can have. I'm sure you have a lot, but we have to go. So thank you, Mr. Dr. Abke, for coming with your dog, and Tim for being my co-assistant. Thank you and bye.
We brought 2 of these beautiful beach chairs, which are now quite commonplace here in Hawaii. Some of the hotels manage them, and our parks department. Our mission is to open possibilities for young people with disabilities to consider careers in math, science, technology, and media. Many times kids with disabilities do not think of themselves as scientists. Dr. Radke is a wonderful role model for getting kids out into the adventure of science. Here's Melian again.
We're looking for different kinds of life that grows in the tide pools. So we're looking at plant life and animal life and just invertebrates and fish and all the different umu that grow here. We're just going to collect them and see what's here and count how many we have and get an idea of the diversity and the frequency. So everyone's collecting, we're going to count, and then we're going to put everything back, so try not to disturb the area too much.
Yes.
Do you know what you're looking for? Or are you just looking? It's a mermaid!
So don't try to catch me in shadows.
After we've been in the water for an hour or 2, it's time to come back up onto the beach. That's Eric Arvison, by the way, with the Aloha Stack and the white hat. And we meet with Dr. Radke, and he shares his knowledge. We try to leave a very small footprint. We take living critters from the sea, look at them, learn about them, and return them to the sea. Nice catch, Ken.
Whoa. You gotta be real careful with this. Be real careful with it so you don't stick yourself.
This is Dr. Radke's daughter. Her name is Ocean.
Actually, sea urchins are actually good to eat. Especially when they have their eggs. They put them on sushi. The really nice one is there's no animal. There's no animal in it, so we can pass that one around. But that's a really nice shell. We have to bring all our animals back into the water, release them, make sure we bring our bags back up and throw away. We're going to have lunch, and then we're going to clean the beach before the people who want to can take